Chapter 1, The Girl with the Rose Heart. Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Lira. She was not like other girls. She had something special. Her heart was a rose, a real rose. It was red. It was soft. It was alive. It bloomed when she was happy. It closed when she was sad. It hurt when someone lied. But no one knew this. No one had ever seen her rose heart. She always wore a scarf around her chest. Lyra was kind. She helped the old. She gave food to the poor. She played with little children. But she never let anyone close because the rose was fragile. If the wrong person touched it, Lyra would forget what love feels like forever. Only one person in the world could touch her heart without hurting her. Only one. But she didn't know who, and no one else knew either. One day, something changed. A storm came. It was not a normal storm. The sky turned dark. The wind roared. The trees shook. The birds flew away. And after the storm, a stranger appeared. He walked into the village. His name was Kale. He wore a long black coat. He had a scar under his eye. He carried no bag. No one knew where he came from, but he looked calm, and his eyes were sad. Lyra saw him from her window. For a moment, her heart skipped a beat. She didn't know why. Kyle walked to the market. He bought nothing. He said little. But when he passed Lyra, he looked at her. Not just looked, saw her. She looked back, and something inside her heart glowed. For the first time in many years, they did not speak. Not yet. But that night, Lyra could not sleep. She held her scarf. She touched her chest. Her rose was warm. The next day, Kale came to the well. Lyra was there, drawing water. He stood beside her. He smiled. "Nice day," he said. She nodded. "Yes," she replied. Then silence. But it was not cold. It was quiet and soft, like the wind before a song. Days passed. They met again, and again. They began to walk together, talk, laugh. Lyra felt light. Her rose bloomed brighter. It glowed in the dark. It hummed with joy. She felt safe. She felt seen. But then, one night, she had a dream. In the dream, she stood in front of a mirror. Her rose turned black. Kale stood behind her, and a voice said, "He is not what he seems." Lyra woke up. Her room was cold. The scarf was on the floor. Her rose was dim. She sat up. Her hands shook. She whispered, "Who are you, Kale?" And deep in the woods, Kale stood near an old tree. He looked at the sky. "I never wanted this," he said, "but it has begun." Chapter 2, The Stranger's Secret. The next morning, Lyra walked through the village. But she felt different. Everything looked the same. But something inside her had changed. The rose in her chest was a quiet, not dead, just waiting. Kyle sat by the fountain. He waved at her. She smiled back, but her smile was weak. Her dream still echoed in her mind. She sat beside him. They didn't speak for a while. Then Kyle said, "You seem quiet today." She looked at the ground. I had a dream, she said. A strange one? Kale's hand froze in the air. What did you see? He asked. She didn't answer. She wanted to, but something stopped her. That night, Lyra went to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother was old, wise, and silent most days, but Lyra knew she kept secrets. Grandma, she said, do you know stories about hearts made of roses? Her grandmother's eyes opened wide. She turned away. That is not a story, she whispered. That is a warning. Lyra sat straight. Tell me. Her grandmother looked at the fire. Long ago, there was a girl like you. Her heart was a rose. She could love deeply, but she could also be broken easily. There was a boy. His touch was cursed. He didn't know it. But when he touched the rose, the girl forgot love. She forgot who she was, and the boy disappeared into the woods forever. Lyra felt cold. What happened to her? She asked. Her grandmother said, no one knows. Some say she became a shadow. Some say she waits in dreams to warn others. Later that night, Lyra walked alone. The stars were bright, but she couldn't enjoy them. She went to the lake, she sat by the water, and then Kale appeared. I thought I'd find you here, he said. Lyra stood up. I need to know the truth, she said. Who are you? Kale looked at the water. I don't fully know, he said, but I remember pieces. I came from a village far away. I had no heart. I searched for it. Then I found you. You mean you don't have a heart? She asked. No, he whispered. But when I'm near you, I feel something. Like warmth, like memory, like love. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. And if you touch me? She asked. Kyle took a step back. I can't. I want to, but I can't. The wind grew stronger. The moon hid behind a cloud. Suddenly, Lyra felt something, a sharp pain in her chest. Her rose glowed red, then dimmed again. Kyle saw it. You really are her, he whispered. Who? She asked. The girl from the old tale, the rose-hearted girl. You were in my dreams, before I ever met you. They stared at each other, both full of questions, both full of fear. Kale stepped closer. There's something in the forest, he said. It's calling me. I think it's part of the curse. I must find it. Will you come with me? Lyra looked at him. She touched her scarf. Her heart was unsure, but her soul said yes. I'll come, she said, and together they walked toward the forest, where secrets lived, where magic waited, and where the truth was ready to be found. Chapter 3. The Forest of Lost Things. The trees were tall, the night was cold. Lyra and Kyle entered the forest. Leaves whispered above them. The ground was soft and quiet. It felt like walking inside a dream. Lyra looked around. This place feels alive, she said. Kale nodded. It is, he replied. This is the forest of lost things. What does that mean? She asked. Everything that is lost, forgotten, or broken finds its way here. Lyra stayed close to him. Her rose heart was glowing, but softly. Not in joy, not in fear, in warning. As they walked deeper, the trees changed. Their bark was smooth like mirrors. When Lyra looked at them, she saw herself, but not the same. One reflection looked younger. One looked sad. One had no rose at all. She turned away. Don't look too long, Kyle said. These trees show what you hide. A soft sound came from the bushes, like a child crying. Lyra moved closer. There was no child, only a small doll lying in the grass. Old, dirty, and torn. She bent down to pick it up. Kale grabbed her hand. Don't, he said. Nothing here is truly what it seems. Lyra stood. The doll disappeared. Why is the forest showing us these things? She asked. Because it's watching, Kyle said. It wants to know why we're here. And what do we want? She asked softly. Kyle didn't answer. After hours of walking, they came to a clearing. In the middle was a stone circle. Old stones, covered in moss. At the center stood a tree. It was different from the rest. It had silver leaves, its roots glowed faintly, and its trunk had a large crack. Kyle stopped. This is it, he whispered. The tree of memory. What does it do? Lyra asked. It shows you what you've lost and what you must face. Kyle walked forward. He placed his hand on the trunk. The tree glowed. Light spread through the roots. Suddenly, a figure appeared. It was Kale, but younger, and he was crying. That's me, Kyle said. I remember now. What do you see? Lyra asked. A girl, he whispered. She gave me her heart. I didn't know I was cursed. I touched her rose. She forgot me forever. His voice broke. That girl wasn't you, but she had a rose too. And I think I was meant to protect you, not love you. Lyra stepped back. Her rose began to close. What are you saying? She asked. Kale turned to her. I think I'm not the one. I think I'm the reason your heart is in danger. Lyra felt cold. The wind stopped. The forest went silent. So, you'll leave? She whispered. Kyle looked down. If it means saving you, yes. But before he could move, the ground shook. The sky turned red. The tree split open. From the crack, a dark figure stepped out. It had no face, only a mouthful of thorns, and it said, Too late. The rose has already been touched. Lyra fell to the ground. Her heart burned. Her eyes closed. Kale ran to her. Lyra, he shouted, don't leave me. But the figure laughed. She belongs to the forest now. Chapter 4. The Thorn in Her Heart. Lyra could not move. Her eyes were closed, but her mind was awake. She was not in the forest anymore. She was somewhere cold and dark and empty. She stood in a room of mirrors, but they showed no reflection, Only shadows, only silence. Then she heard footsteps, software, slow, careful. A voice spoke. You open the rose, child. Lyra turned. A woman stood behind her. Her face was kind. Her eyes were sad. Who are you? Lyra asked. I am the first rose-hearted girl, the woman said. Long ago, I touched the wrong hands. I lost my love. I lost myself. Lyra's heart hurt. Even here, even in dreams, it hurt. Is this the end? She asked. The woman shook her head. Not yet. You still have a choice. A door appeared behind the woman. It was made of silver and vines. If you open this door, the woman said, you can return. But the thorn inside your rose will stay. It will hurt. It will test you. But you will live. And if I don't open it, Lyra asked, you stay here, forever, lost, forgotten. Back in the real world, Kale held Lyra in his arms. Her body was cold. Her lips were pale. The dark figure stood over them. You were warned, it said. You came too close. You tried to change fate. Kyle looked up. Take me instead, he said. Leave her. The figure laughed. You are already cursed. Your pain is your prison. Kyle closed his eyes. Then let me suffer more. He pressed his hand to Lyra's rose. He didn't know what would happen. He didn't care. He whispered, Lyra, if you can hear me, come back. I'm not your answer, but I'll still be your shield, your friend, your fighter. Inside the mirror room, Lyra heard his voice. She gasped. Her rose beat once. The woman smiled. The thorn will stay, she said, but the flower will still bloom. Lyra walked to the silver door. She touched the handle. It was cold. It was sharp, but it felt right. She turned it. In the forest, Lyra opened her eyes. Kyle was crying. He couldn't believe it. Lyra, he whispered. She blinked slowly. I came back, she said. Kyle helped her sit. The dark figure screamed. This is not how it ends. But the tree of memory began to glow. Its branches turned gold. Its leaves turned bright. The figure screamed again and vanished. Lyra touched her chest. There was something new. Her rose had a thorn now. It hurt, but it was alive. You touched my heart, she told Kale. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't, she said. You woke me. The forest was silent again, safe, but changed. Lyra and Kale stood together. The stars above them were brighter than ever, and deep inside her rose heart, a new petal began to bloom. Chapter 5, The Voice Beneath the Lake. The next morning, the sun returned. The sky was clear. The birds were back. Lyra and Kale sat by the old stone well. They hadn't spoken much since the forest. Lyra still touched her chest often. The thorn inside her rose ached, but the pain made her feel real. What happens now? She asked softly. Kale looked down. We rest, he said, and we wait. If the dark figure returns, we'll be ready. Lyra nodded, but her heart whispered something else. Something quiet. Something strange. That night, Lyra had another dream. But this one was different. She was not in the forest. She was near the lake. The water was still. The moon was high. She saw someone standing in the middle of the lake. A girl wearing a red dress. The girl turned around. She had no face, only a rose in the center of her head. The girl raised her hand and pointed at Lyra. Then a voice whispered, "Beneath the lake is a heart like yours." Lyra woke up fast. Her room was cold. Her rose was glowing again. She put on her cloak and ran. Kyle found her at the edge of the lake. The water shimmered under the stars. "Lyra," he called, "what are you doing out here?" "I saw her," she said. "A girl in the lake with a rose instead of a face." Kale looked toward the water. "Did she say anything?" "Yes. She said there's a heart like mine beneath the lake." Kyle was silent. Then he said something strange. "My village? It once stood where this lake is now." Lyra turned fast. "What?" "It was destroyed, burned, swallowed by water. People said it was cursed, that someone with a rose heart lived there." Lyra's heart beat faster. "Then maybe she's still there," she said. "Still waiting, still calling." Without thinking, Lyra stepped into the water. It was cold, but not sharp. It felt familiar. Kale followed her. They walked until the water reached their chests. Then something pulled them under. No warning, no time to scream, just silence and dark. They landed gently, on stone, underwater, but still breathing. They stood inside an ancient hall. Broken glass, old vines, paintings faded by time. But in the center was a statue of a girl. The statue's heart was missing. Only a rose stem remained, and on the floor lay a mirror. Lyra picked it up. It showed her face. Then it showed the girl from her dream. Then it cracked. A voice filled the room. "Two hearts, one curse. The rose that blooms in light will soon bleed in shadow." Kyle stepped back. "What does it mean?" Lyra looked around. "I think the girl beneath the lake was the first one, the one your curse came from." The walls began to shake. The water returned. The light vanished. "Run!" Kale shouted. They held hands. They ran. The lake roared above them. The statue cracked open, and inside it was a red, glowing heart, still beating, still alive. Chapter 6: The Heart That Never Died. The red heart glowed inside the broken statue. It looked fresh. It looked warm. It looked alive. But it had no body, only roots, thin silver roots. They wrapped around the stone. They pulsed like veins. Lyra stepped closer. Her rose ached. "This heart is like mine," she whispered. Kale stood beside her. "It's been here for years. maybe longer. Lyra knelt down. She didn't touch it. She just listened. The heart made a soft sound, not a beat, a voice, a whisper. Free me. She looked at Kale. It's still speaking. Kale nodded. Then someone is still trapped. Suddenly, the water above them began to swirl. The ceiling cracked. A cold wind rushed through the hall. From the shadows, the girl in the red dress appeared. She floated above the floor. No eyes, no mouth, just the rose in her face. Lyra stood tall. "Who are you?" she asked. The girl's voice came from the rose. "I was the first I loved, I trusted. He touched my rose, and I vanished." Lyra's voice shook. "Kale?" The girl turned to him. "No," she said, "not him. Another. Long ago, but the curse passed through hands, from him to others." Kale stepped forward. "Then it lives in me," he said, "and I'm ready to end it." The rose girl shook her head. "Only the heart can break the chain." She pointed to the glowing heart. "But to free me, one must give up their own." Lyra's rose pulsed in fear. Her voice was barely a whisper. "If I do that, will I survive?" The girl didn't answer. Only the heart spoke. "Love gives, love saves, love costs." Silence filled the room. Kyle looked at Lyra. "Don't do this," he said. "We'll find another way." Lyra smiled softly. "I was given this heart for a reason. Maybe it wasn't meant to last forever. Maybe it was meant to free her." She walked to the stone bed. She knelt beside the heart. Her rose began to glow bright red, then gold, then white. She placed both hands over her chest. The thorn burned. The rose opened. Petals fell like feathers. She laid the rose over the glowing heart. Light filled the room. The vines melted. The statue broke, and the heart, the old one, rose into the air and flew into the rose girl's chest. She gasped. Her face appeared. She looked human again, alive, whole. Tears ran down her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved me." Then she looked at Kyle. "And now you are free." She vanished. The hall faded. The water disappeared. Kyle woke on the lake shore. Lyra lay beside him, still, pale, silent. He touched her hand. "Lyra?" She didn't move. He pressed his ear to her chest. No sound, no rose, nothing. He held her close. Tears fell. But then, a faint glow. A soft sound. Not a rose, but a new flower, small, blue, shining. Kyle smiled through tears. "You're still here," he whispered. "You're still blooming." Chapter 7, The Flower of Memory. Lyra opened her eyes. Soft light fell on her face. She was in her bed. The window was open. The wind touched her cheeks like a whisper. She sat up slowly. Her body felt light, but her chest felt different. She looked down. No rose, no thorn. But in its place, just over her heart, was a small, glowing blue flower. She touched it gently. It was warm. It didn't hurt, but it pulsed like a quiet heartbeat. A knock came. Kyle stood in the doorway. His eyes were tired, but he smiled when he saw her awake. "You came back," he said. Lyra nodded. "It's not the same heart," she whispered. "No," he replied. "It's something new, something never seen before." He sat beside her. "After the lake, you stopped breathing," he said. "But then the blue light came. It came from you. It pushed the dark away." Lyra closed her eyes. She could feel it now. A strange calm, a soft strength. "The rose was love," she said. "But this is memory. The memory of love. It stays, even after pain." Kale touched her hand. "You saved her. You saved me." Lyra looked at him. "Are you still cursed?" He shook his head. "The curse left when your rose bloomed into something greater. I'm free, but I'll never forget." For days, the village was peaceful. No shadows, no strange dreams, no whispering trees. But something was different. The mirrors no longer showed reflections. The well sang soft songs at night. And every morning, a new flower bloomed in Lyra's garden. All blue, all glowing. One evening, a child came to Lyra's door. He held a piece of paper. "This flew into my house," he said. "I think it's for you." Lyra opened it. The writing was soft, almost like a breath. "One more remains, one more rose lost, beneath the mountain of glass." Lyra felt a chill. She looked at Kyle. "There's another," she said. "Another rose-hearted one. Still trapped." Kale took the paper. "Do we follow it?" She nodded. "We must. If there's one more heart still waiting, we can't stop now." That night, Lyra stood before her mirror. She saw her new self. Not weak, not broken, changed, stronger. Not just a girl with a rose. Now, the girl with a memory. And that memory was magic. Far away, under the silver mountain, a rose flickered in the dark. It beat slowly and whispered one name. Lyra. Chapter 8. The Mountain of Glass. Lyra and Kale stood at the edge of the valley. Before them rose a strange mountain. It was tall, sharp, and shining. It was not made of stone, not of earth, but of glass, clear, smooth, and cold. The villagers called it the Sleeping Mountain. But no one ever climbed it. No one returned from its base. Now, Lyra and Kale had to go. The message had said, "One more rose beneath the mountain of glass." Lyra's blue flower pulsed softly. It guided her like a light in her chest. She was afraid, but she didn't stop. As they climbed, the air grew quiet. No birds, no wind, only the sound of their own steps. The glass mountain showed reflections, but not true ones. Lyra saw herself smiling, then crying, then turning into shadows. Kyle saw fire, screaming. A boy alone in ashes. Don't look too long, Lyra said. It shows pain, not truth. He nodded, but his hands shook. At the top, there was no path, only a crack in the mountain. It glowed faintly, like silver threads. Lyra touched the crack. It opened. Inside was a cave of mirrors. But these mirrors were different. They didn't reflect, they remembered. One mirror showed a girl running, a rose on her chest, thorns around her wrists. She was scared, alone. Another mirror showed a hand holding a rose, the petals falling. Each one whispered a name. Help me. Don't forget me. I'm still here. Lyra stepped deeper. In the center of the cave, a heart floated in a crystal. It was not red, not blue. It was white, pale and glowing, still beating, still waiting. Lyra touched the crystal. Her mind filled with voices, all soft, all broken. I was the last. They forgot me. You came for me? Then the voice became one. I am your sister. Lyra gasped. Sister? The voice replied, Long ago we were born with rose hearts, two lights. One was saved, one was taken. Tears filled Lyra's eyes. Why didn't I remember? Because pain hides in silence, and memory only blooms when called by love. The cave shook. The crystal cracked. Kyle pulled Lyra back. It's breaking, he shouted, but Lyra stepped forward. Let it break, she said. She needs to be free. The crystal shattered. The white heart fell into Lyra's hands. It glowed. It pulsed. It sang. Then from the mirrors, a girl stepped out. She looked like Lyra. Same eyes, same voice, but softer, weaker, lonely. You found me, she whispered. Lyra ran to her, held her close. You were never forgotten, she said. You were always in me. The mountain trembled. The glass turned to petals. Light poured in. And the two sisters stood, hands together, hearts glowing. Kyle watched them. His curse was gone. But his purpose was clear. He was no longer just the boy who followed. He was now the guardian of two hearts. As the mountain faded into sky, the voice of the wind whispered, The rose may fade, but the love it held will bloom forever. The end.